Welcome to AQS Guild Buzz with Bonnie. We sure are glad to be back and bringing more programs to you. And these are interviews with representatives from different quilt guilds all across the country. Our program today is sponsored by Handi Quilter. In a few minutes, I'll tell you about a really nice giveaway that Handi Quilter is going to provide. And so all you'll have to do is go and sign up. We'll get to that in a few minutes. My guest today is Kathleen Armel, and she's from the Conway Quilters in Conway, South Carolina. Welcome.
Thank you, Bonnie. Glad to be here from the historic Cochran School here in Conway.
All right. Well, it looks like you have a great space and you were able to hang some quilts for us to look at and everything, weren't you?
Oh, we have it all today. We have it all.
Well, so tell us a little bit about how your group came into being. And it's a guild that hasn't been in existence a very long time, but tell us what you've done.
We started out in 2013 as a group of, I think our first meeting was 9 members. 9 people showed up. 4 of us could quilt, 5 could not, or had a little bit of a semblance of knowledge of a machine. Then we started out slowly each year, grew and grew, and over 7 years, we are now at 78, and we're growing.
Wow, that's
wonderful. We always
wonderful.
accept people who want to join.
Right, right. Well, and so tell us exactly, where is Conway, South Carolina?
Conway, South Carolina is on the eastern coast of South Carolina, about 15 miles west of Myrtle Beach.
Okay, all right. I think that'll place people in the right area so that they'll know where you are.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I know that your guild has done lots of things for charity and different things that your guild does. So let's talk about that a little bit.
All right. Our very first group, our very first charitable was quiltlets. And we started out making these quiltlets for Conway Medical Center. And I'll have one of the girls bring over a quiltlet to show you. And let me give you some numbers while we're talking. Since 2013, we have made 3,765 quiltlets.
Okay.
This is our friend Kim showing this off.
Hi, Kim. And so tell me again what you do with these. They're donated to.
These are used in the nursery of the hospital, that they put them over the incubators to keep the light from coming down on them. We try to make sure that most of the mothers go in who have children, or have babies, I should say, that they get one of these to take home with them. So we've been doing that since 2013. That was our very first project. Then we've started other things as well. I know you and I talked about the animal beds. And we make animal beds for Horry County Animal Shelter. And from the animal shelters, what we do is we fill these up with scraps. This is Diane.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
We fill these up with scraps.
We'll let you play Vanna White with your demo there.
We fill them up with scraps from batting and from fabric, sew them up, and we take them over to the animal shelter at least once a month. This way, we're taking all this scrap that would normally end up in the landfill, whether it be the fabric itself or the insides with batting and scraps. That way, we're putting it out of the landfill. And so far, we have made over 1,400 of these animal beds. We have kept over 29,500 pounds of fabric out of the landfill here.
Wow, so a whole recycle and sustainability project as well.
Very much so. Now, the material that we've got a lot of these beds for has come from a local interior decorating firm who is clearing out their stockroom. and they decided they wanted something to do, so they donated it all to us, and we thought, well, we can use these for animal bed. Well, they sent so much of it, we had 3 carloads come back, and we had a huge stockroom full of all these drapery and upholstery fabric. So we've been using those for dog beds, and these dog beds have got some pretty fancy looking fabric and pretty fancy looking beds.
Yeah, really. They use that's probably more expensive fabric than we normally use too.
I think so. I think so.
Well, and do you know what? One of the people might want to look at that source for doing something like that for a project. Other guilds might want to be able to try to find that. And the drapery and the upholstery fabrics would be heavier than our normal cotton, so I bet they'd wear better too.
Oh yes, very much so. They use them a lot in the cages there, plus when somebody adopts an animal, they send them home with a fresh bed. So that's nice, and everybody gets to share with it.
All right, well that's great. Well, I know you do a project for breast cancer. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, each year, well, we started this back in, I think, 2016. We had, one of our members was going through some chemotherapies, and she brought back the idea of this heart-shaped pillow that they were using. And these pillows here, we started out making all these pillows in August.
Right, so they put that underneath their arm.
Yes, put it underneath those so it's comfortable for that. We started making it as a group project once a year in August so that they could take them down to Tidelands Hospital Oncology Unit. And over the years, we've each tried to get it further and further along. Last year, we did a sew-in in one day, and we made 201 pillows. However, this year, with COVID, we could not meet as a large group like we have before. However, one of our members cut out a bunch of the pillow forms, plus another member cut out squares and pillows, and there was about, well, maybe 20 of us here. We sewed and stuffed 240 pillows this 2 weeks ago here in this room. And right now we have 240 plus, I know there's still some out, so we'll probably be well over 275 going to be split this year between Conway Medical Center, who has a brand new cancer unit, along with Tidelands Health Cancer Unit. So both hospitals will be benefiting with these.
Another pillow that is good for breast cancer patients is the pillow that is long like this, and it's hooked together with Velcro that you put over your seat belt.
Oh, the port softies.
Yes.
That's what we call them. Okay. Yes, we have those.
Oh, okay.
With the port softies, I can tell you we have made for those, let's see here. We have made 485 of those since March. That's another project we've been working on since COVID, since all of this.
Wow.
So those go along with that as well. We did have a challenge where we made breast cancer blocks, and we made the quilts, and we will be donating these as well this year to both centers in the month of October as well. So we have a whole bunch of quilts to take down to them along with the pillows.
And so do they all have pink in them, the quilts?
The pillows all have pink in them. They do have some blues and stuff with that. After October, we will be going to make these pillows in all kinds of colors. But because we started that with pink, we're going to finish up this year with pink and go forward.
Well, of course, the pink ribbons are the breast cancer logo.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And since we started this in 2016, we've made and donated over 800 of them.
Wow, that's an active guild, yes.
Very, very active. Very active. Very community oriented.
Now, I want you to tell us a little bit about your your drive-in porch pickups, and also your drive-in at the park meeting.
Okay, we started this in March when we knew we could not get to group into the meeting here. But I asked the staff here at the Parks and Rec building if we could have what we called a drive-in. So we set up something small, we accepted some kits, we had things going on. Let me think here a second. We did challenge blocks. We had these blocks over here. These Conway,
yes.
These blocks here. We had a challenge that was supposed to start the beginning of the year, which it did. And our person who's the head of our Quilts of Valor committee wanted 200 blocks, and she made up 200 kits. Plus we had Quilts of Valor kits. We had all kinds of quiltlet kits, Port Softy kits. So we had all these kits lined up outside. Then we did, and Deanna got 200 kits made. She wanted 200 for the whole year. She ended up with, so far, over 400 blocks. Now, all these blocks are going to be used for the Quilt of Valor National Sew-In in February of 2021. So we have that we had that challenge, and it's still going on until November. So I'm sure she's going to get more than 425 blocks.
Okay, so tell me about going to the park with your show and tell.
Yeah, when we come out, when we did the drive-throughs and stuff, we would have people would bring their things. We've shown them up through that as well. They would pick up kits, they would drop off their kits, and of course, showing everybody what they've been made. The only problem is with this is we're a great group of huggers, and we really missed that extra closeness that we've had.
I think that's how all quilters are. We all miss that
very much so.
Touchy-feely, yes.
Now, we did this in March, April, May, June, July, and each month it got bigger and bigger. Now, this past month in August, we tried to we had our first meeting back in here, and luckily the staff here set up our room for us, and we were able to have 30 of us come in and sit here. And then we also did a Facebook Live at the same time that we were able to get those members who were unable to be here. So we had that taken care of as well. And it went on very good. So we think this month will be very good as well.
We're all learning a lot about using technical equipment today, aren't we?
Very, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Well, you know, this program is sponsored by Handi Quilter, and so we're going to take a minute and just have a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Hello, South Carolina. I'm Kim Sandberg, Handi Quilter Studio Educator. As part of Bonnie's Guild Buzz, we're offering our quilting friends in South Carolina a special Handi Quilter Watch and Learn discount on the Felting Foot Kit, good through this Sunday, September 27th. Mention Guild Buzz SC at your local participating Handi Quilter retailer, or shop online at handiquilter.com and enter code GuildBuzzSC at checkout to get in on this great deal. If you're watching this video after this offer expires, stop by handiquilter.com for the latest in long arm education and inspiration. We'd love to see you.
Well, thanks for joining us and coming back to see what we're doing, but let me tell you what Handi Quilter is doing for this program. They are donating an HQ Stitch 710 piecing and applique sewing machine, and it has a value of $3,495. And I don't know if all of you knew, but Handi Quilter doesn't just make long arm machines, they also make home sewing machines, and this will be one of those home sewing machines. And it has 170 built-in stitches. It has 9mm wide stitches in the machine, and it also has a knee lift to lift your presser foot. So after you watch the program today, go down to the information in the box and there'll be a link that'll take you to the page where you can register for this sewing machine. So we hope you'll do that each time you join us for the AQS Guild Buzz. All right, well, so now what are you looking forward, Kathleen, to do going forward from here? Do you have any idea when you'll be able to have regular meetings again?
Probably not till after the first of the year, but we're making an attempt to get back every time that we're able to get back into here for a meeting or for a free sew, we will do so in, you know, smaller groups, but hopefully we'll be able to have everybody here after the first of the year.
All right, would you like to tell us about those pretty quilts that we see hanging behind you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we have something called Quilt University in our group, and that's where everybody gets to learn something a little bit, sharing the knowledge of some of our really good quilters. One of the first classes for Quilt University was this Dresden plate quilt here. And there was about 15 of us or so that learned how to do the Dresden plate over, what, 6 weeks time, about 6 weeks time, and we all completed a quilt top with that. The other thing that we've worked on, we had a challenge of this community, we call it the communique quilt. And this one was how people can get their information and how does that group see and interpret what they wanted to do. The group picked out their fabrics and then everybody got a little bit of the fabric and created a block. And this has to be probably one of the best examples of how a group of 5 or 6 people got together and made an absolutely gorgeous quilt using the same fabric, but different blocks.
And the blocks are all different sizes too, aren't they?
Yes, ma'am. We had a section, we had a grid, we had a grid, they followed the grid, each person had a grid and had to do something into that one.
Okay, well, it's a really pretty quilt.
One other thing is we have our jelly roll. We have a race in November and have a jelly roll race, and we're going to try to do it again this year. It was very interesting. People do some of the craziest things. We have cheerleaders here, we have it all. And we've passed the baton 1, 2, 3, 4 times now, I think. And we have 3 of the former queens and the current queen here today with us as well.
Oh gosh, well, you know what? That's a really good idea because those are good quilts to make for charity. We did that one time at one of our quilt shows where we spent an evening and about 20 sewing machines, and I think we had 6 long arm machines, and I believe that night we finished 25 quilts.
Absolutely.
Doing what do they call it? The 600-inch race?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
What was the winning time this time around? Can you remember? 24 minutes to get a quilt top done.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I said. I'm usually the last one though. That's my fault. But another thing we've done was we did a round robin, and that's always been fun. That's what this one is here, is the round robin. And everybody knows that you start off with a centerpiece, and then it goes to 3 or 4 people, and it's finished up. And we wanted to give an example of the round robin as well.
So they add a lot of borders to a center for that one.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, something that we started as a group here back, I guess it was last year, we have a lot of members who invested into embroidery machines, and they wanted to learn a little bit more, but a lot of them were a little fearful about that. So we have one member who is extraordinarily talented with this, and she has volunteered her time, and we do an embroidery group once a month. And the girls bring in their machines and they do a small project. And these are some of the projects that they have done, with these snowflakes being what was done just this past week. So
And so
they
they're-
make little things here, they've donated them for events and such, so it's been really good. These girls are getting a lot out of it, and they're able to use their machines, and that's
What a
been
great
most
way, what a great way for people to learn how to do more things with their embroidery machines.
absolutely.
Most
absolutely.
of us just do monograms.
Yeah, that's what they were finding out. They're spending an awful lot on a machine just to do a monogram, but now Barb has taken everybody to the next level and working on different fabrics as well. Exactly. One thing I did want to mention too is we do something with some of this upholstery fabric as well, and we make what we call a Stella bag. This was designed by one of our members, and it's a tote bag made out of some of these upholstery fabrics as such.
Okay, there you
Oh,
go.
there it is. It's coming.
Oh gosh, and
This
that's a
is
nice
an
size
example
one
of
too.
one. And it comes in two sizes. This is the Stella original bag. And then we have the Stella 2.0, and that's a smaller size bag. And what we do is Stella makes these bags, and then we take the proceeds of the sales of these bags, and the proceeds go to purchasing fabric for our Quilts of Valor.
Because even if everybody makes blocks for you, you still have to have batting and backing, don't you?
Oh, yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And this is one of our quilts here, along with the things that we give our service guys and veterans when we award them. We have envelopes, we have pillowcases, we have award cases, and we just wanted to show you what we do from the blocks all the way to the end with that. We have a dedicated group of quilters, a few quilters here in the group that do nothing but quilt these for us.
And do you know, some of the quilts that they're making for Quilts of Valor today are where they're using the panels. The panels are beautiful.
That's what this is. This is a paneled one here with the American Eagle. It says these colors do not run.
Okay.
So that's with one of those into there.
Yes.
This was something we do at Christmas in July, Bonnie. We couldn't do it this year, but our program committee sent this out, and this was a little ornament, kind of challenging, but we did have one member make this one, and I forget how many pieces did you say was in it?
I don't know,
A lot of
it's like
pieces were in
60 or something. I think AQS has shared that pattern on our AQS blog.
Yes, I think that's where it came from.
If you watch Facebook, you'll see some beautiful ornaments that people have made using that pattern.
Well, this was challenging. I think, like I said, maybe one or two did it. One other thing we also do is we make adult items, walker bags and walker bibs with that as well, and give them out for assisted living and I guess assisted living and anybody who needs one with that. So we have the walker bags and that as well. Masks, here's a number that's gonna blow your mind. Masks. Since March, our group has made over 5,500 masks for local community people, as well as all throughout the United States. Some of these masks have they've been all over the place. We made over 500 for Walter Reed as well, Walter Reed Hospital. Then, let's see, the ports off seats, the mask, but we were honored by Horry County Heroes in our local little newspaper about our mask making. And each week during the first 2 weeks of COVID, they were showing about 6 people a week, 6 either individuals or groups, and who was doing things for healthcare heroes. So we were honored as a healthcare hero for all our mask making as well.
And rightfully so, right? Quilters all across the country have been making masks since March.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, so have you showed us everything that you have there to show?
I don't know. Our quarantine quilt blocks. How could I forget that one? That's one that just finished. We did, in order to keep everybody motivated as well, in between meeting times, we had a quarantine block challenge. And our program chairman, Kim, she introduced a block every week. And while we were doing that, I gave everybody a quilt trivia challenge question. So we made 12 blocks over 12 weeks, had 12 trivia questions, and this is a sample of one of the ones here with some of the blocks that were made. Very colorful quilt.
Wow.
And what we'll be doing with these are using these as throws, and these will be going down to the new oncology unit here at Conway Medical Center.
Well, do you know what? Quilters are good people, and aren't we glad that we're a part of them?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now you shared your information about your pretty quilts. I want to talk a little bit about the quilt that's behind me today, and it's called Colorful Thoughts, and it's by Holly Watson from Northport, Florida. And this quilt will appear in the next issue of American Quilter magazine. That'll be the January issue. And isn't it pretty? And you know what? We love to make these wall quilts that stand out on our wall. And thank you so much, Holly, for sharing your quilt with us today. Well, I want to just remind everybody to be sure to go click on the link to go register for the Handi Quilter sewing machine. Also, we have a 5 or 6 question survey. The survey this time is about online classes. We'd like to know what you all are doing, and it'll just take you a couple minutes to fill that out. And thank you, Kathleen, and your whole group for...
Can I bring my group in, Bonnie?
Oh, please do. Let's have a group picture right here at the end.
Yes.
Okay, and so we have Donna, and tell me the other name. Oh, the other names.
Okay. This is Kim, our program chairman.
Okay.
This is Diane, our publicity chairman. This is Dottie. She's in charge of grants and everything else you can imagine. This is Barb, our embroidery wizard. And this is Beck. She's our technical advisor for everything.
All right. Well, thank you all for visiting with us today. And like everybody else, make sure that you mask up, stay well, and quilt on. And we'll see you all next week again on Wednesday. Thanks for sharing your guild information with us, Kathleen, and for all of you who helping her assist. And you know what? The quilters around the country have loved being able to see what other guilds are doing. And so thank you so much for showing all the things that you had to share with us today.
Thank you. Take
All
care.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.